Good evening and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans. Getting you to think that you are part of this land that you stand on. Joining me as always is the Accomack Guardian, the guardians of the Accomacks, the soul who looks over the Accomacks, Miss Lisa Cypress. How you doing tonight, Lisa?
Caillou, Carrie, how are you? Indigenous one, thank you for having me. Once again, I appreciate you and your,
See,
graciousness and greatness.
see, I'm not like these other guys. I share you. I let everybody have some of you. Thank you. No, seriously, thank you for giving because I think that's one of the problems we have. We look at ourselves as things, and
Hmm,
we're really not that. That's just what other people think we are, and we just fall into our roles or the roles
hmm,
make for us. And that's how I'm seeing it. So I just mean, with everything you give to us, because you give to us stuff that change the way we see ourselves,
right.
the way we look at ourselves, the way we better ourselves. How can I not, share that?
Thank
I
you.
think I'm gonna get a star or something. But instead of talking all that dumb shit that's keeping us confused and in these mind games that they're in. So I really appreciate you coming on, sharing some of the things that you picked up from your people, passed down to you, and I'm glad that you can share it and pass it on to everybody else. So I thank you.
Well, you know how much I appreciate you, so thank you, thank you. Thank you to the chat too, the amazing chat.
Copper colored lifestyle.
Copper colored lifestyle.
You are the Bomba, capital B.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody's awesome. And we have a rotating, we have the good, you have really great, loyal, highly intelligent. This is the most intelligent chat by far. Like the
Yeah,
most. Yeah,
cozy.
these are some really deep thinking, high level folks in this chat. This is not a joke. It's not a joke here. You don't have no dum dums looking for sums.
Right.
I'm a dum dum. I'm a dum dum looking for something I can understand. No, this is not that. This is for the very intellectual, highbrow thinking, deep thinking, critical thinking people. It's not for, the dum dums are gonna get lost. Their brains are gonna start aching, hurting, throbbing. Like it's just gonna be too much for the
Too
dum.
much.
I
Before
mean,
we
there's something for everyone, but that's good. There's different levels to this, so that's why seek your level. But this is definitely for those that are seeking higher thinking.
and
Mm.
so since we are seeking higher thinking,
Mhm.
Lisa was sharing something with me before we came on tonight about words that she was going over with her grandkids of words she was finding, indigenous words that certain people use.
Mhm.
And she said something interesting about words that we use today. She couldn't find them in the language of those people. Could you talk to him about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I've been researching. We are putting together our particular Accomack Algonquin language, which what people may or may not be aware of is that when you go into your actual nation, even the fact that we are just across the water from, you know, actually we're actually across the water from ourselves because some of us lived on the Norfolk, Newport News, Virginia Beach area, and then some of us were um, in Northampton and Accomack. But um, we have different dialects, and our words and what we say are a little bit different than those just maybe not even 20 miles away, right? So that being the case, I was looking through and trying to, decipher, and we're putting together words some of them from, a lot of them from what family members and our dialects from our great grandparents. Anyway, and some of them from, just like doing deep research. And I'm hard pressed to find words about like stop, no. I'm like, we, that's not, no, I don't see stop and no. I found the, I find that we said enough. So, my grandkids were in here saying, wamat, nikat, namat, which means enough, brother. And so my grandsons were saying that, to each other, you know. And my daughter was like, "Well, why are you doing this research?" And I was like, "Well," and then, 2 minutes later, all the kids are saying all these different words. They're saying piquet, piquet, piquet. That means fart. So they're picking up words. You know how these kids are. They love it. They're picking the littlest one from the 2-year-old up to the 8-year-old. They're picking up these words like that. And they just like, okay, they're making it part of their vocabulary. So that's why you say it. That's why you bring it back, because although it may be a little bit more of a struggle for me, for them it just becomes part of their repertoire of words. Just that simple. And we resurrect these words, and we resurrect our ancestors even more. Talking to them in English is one thing, but bringing back some of the words is just very powerful. So that's all part of it. But it's so funny when you see some of these words that are not there. There's so many words for like beloved, and so many words for thank you, and things like that, things of appreciation. But not really, no, not stop, not a lot of that. Which may be why we got into the situation that we're in. We're so gracious and so giving, that it's not even part of our language. Um, this is one thing I did find that was interesting, because we're getting to these arguments as indigenous people around words, etymology, and what you should call yourself and not call yourself. But in studying the language of the Accomack, the Algonquin words that we use, I found that the color, the word for dark, um, which has nothing to do with being a Moor or anything else. Now we do have a word that is more, Moieh, more, Morieh, more, but it doesn't mean dark. It means filth. So, uh, I don't think, when you start looking at that, what the words we used, uh, more is not an Indian word that actually identifies with the indigenous people don't have that word.
Do
That
you
it's the same thing that the Europeans used it to mean. So see what we're doing. My point is this: we're fighting over European language. That's what we're fighting over European language. And the reality is that, for the Algonquin Accomax, more means filth. So if the Moors were Indians, you think they would call themselves filth? I don't know. Doesn't make sense. So I mean, this is the thing. We have to understand that, we have to understand that a lot of you want to how you want to be something that you're not, and you don't even really respect what you are, what that is, and you don't even really like it in some ways. In a
Yeah,
lot.
I find that fascinating that you would say that, because it's like we're always trying to get their definitions, other people's definition of the world.
Yeah.
never going to, what did your people say, or how did they see it? And
Yeah.
that's why I say, what do you say? But we
Right.
always try to go get another language, another, and we never look at it from our point of view. That's how
Right.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah. So when you start looking at these words and we start looking into them from our language, that's what we need to look at it from. Look at it from your language. Then we won't have the argument anymore. We won't have the argument. More is filthy and in my people's language. So we gotta look at things from your own standpoint. Once you start looking at your own family, looking at your own people, looking at your own history, looking at where you moved around at, what you did, what you accomplished, how you were living, you won't need to get these broad sweeping analysis. These things are generalities that people are living off of. We don't need to be using general. Oh, look at that. That's your book up there. That's awesome. Look at that. Hey, that's African Americans ain't African up there. Let me point in the right direction. How are we gonna get this right?
I'm trying.
There.
Yeah, right there
Yeah.
in
Right
the
up
top
there.
right hand corner. So,
That is awesome. That's the book.
oh, thank you.
Get you,
So,
yeah, I give him out. I got several copies to give out as Christmas gifts. It's a good
I,
gift to give.
I just had
Yeah.
an order from a sister up in the Ohio area, did the same thing. Much love to her.
Yeah.
And what people say, they say, dude, I got it now. If I didn't get it before, I got it now. It's simple, plain to read. I got it. What I was thinking before, I'm no longer thinking that now.
Right.
So, that's just basically what I, wanted to put out.
Right.
You
Yeah. I
know,
need. I need. I mean, I hope you're well stocked because I need to order some more too. Five ain't enough. Got to get some more.
well, they ready for you. Oh, okay. So why everybody hates us?
Yes.
I know you hear it too, but I hear it. I nobody like us, and they don't like you because they ain't you, and you're not using your full potential because you're trying to be like somebody else.
Right.
I mean, just imagine how much we give up in energy. You can count it in money, breaths, steps, however however you want to
However
measure
you want.
however
Right.
you want to measure it. How much energy do you think the African American, Negro, colored, black, how much energy do you think as a group that they give up daily?
But you know what? There's a reason behind that. I mean, just look around. Like, I just was riding around today, going, leaving the parking lot at work, and like all these brothers, all these young brothers, so many young indigenous males. Like, there's so many, and they're creative, intelligent. They're inspired. They're inventive, and they're strong. I mean, they're so numerous. And I don't see that in other people. I don't see a lot of Asian youth. I don't see a lot of other youth. Even though you say there's lots of Mexicans, I don't see a lot of their young boys. I see older men, but I don't see the numerous young boys like I do us. That's my grandson. So one of them. But yeah, so
You get the other one to do a Jackson 5 impersonation.
oh, they do. They do a lot of performing around here. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. So there's a lot of them. Like there are a lot of men, young men. We have a lot of people, and we're not going anywhere. And it's everything that they're trying to do to decrease our population, prison pipeline, drugs, every new drug thing. Oh, you got to try this fentanyl, it's the bomb. That's basically what they do, right? They, oh yeah, man, this stuff is great. People are just dying to have it. They push this stuff. They glamorize it. They put it in songs. You got Oxy, all this stuff and it's all backfiring. None of it is really catching fire in our community, and we still are out there just doing our thing, TikToking or whatever, and it's like, what are you gonna do? That we are a very powerful, resilient people. And it's a problematic thing when you're actually the landlords. See, if we were actually Africans, like they try to teach us that we are, then all these immigrants, Somalians and Ethiopians and people from Nigerians, all these Indians from other places would be treated horribly immediately. They would not be admitted into these schools. They would not be given any jobs. They would do everything they could to keep them from it. In fact, they would try to cart them immediately into prison if we are us and they are them. Because if we are really them, why would they treat them any different than they treat us? Because we're not really them. That's why. That should be glaringly evident that they don't treat us the same. Therefore, we're not. Hello? They don't treat us the same. And they know it. And a lot of us don't get a chance to work with a lot of immigrants. I do. Unfortunately, I have a lot of experience with that, and they don't mix. That's the other thing. All this, oh, we're a tri-colored people, baby. They don't mix like that. They don't mix with us. They steer away from us.
And see,
So
a lot
how
of
are we a tri-colored people when they didn't mix? They don't mix now. And even if they were immigrated in large numbers, then they wouldn't be immigrating with us.
right.
I know they say that in New England and New York they had whatever. I don't know whether this is people being mind controlled over this narrative of this African immigration, or there really were Cape Verdeans immigrating back in the, I don't know when this supposedly happened, okay? When they supposedly immigrated. In my estimation, it had to be after 1900, along with the other masses of Europeans and everything.
Way after 1900.
Way after
You mean
1900.
the
Thank you.
you mean Cape Verde off the coast of Africa, right?
Right. Yeah.
That was way later.
Well, see, they try to make it seem like these Cape Verdeans were here before, like in the 1800s. And, I don't like to speak on anybody else's history because I don't know it. So, but whatever that is, I'd be very shocked that that is actually true. I think that a lot of times we just want to believe what we're told. We just want to believe what we're told as if it's true. But
But what
I would
about
be
how we put we're so adamant and we don't it can be a lie. And we're so adamant
defend
to defend it and
yeah, as if we wrote it, as if we
right,
reported, as if we were there, you know, because we read it in a book and we were told it and we've kind of made it a part of our lexicon of information. That doesn't make it true, you know. Um, I'd like to see the genealogy. I'd like to see the ship manifest. I like to see that information. I heard that some people have ship manifested. Say I don't even know what, you know what, I've seen so many false records that it's just like, man, show me the money, show me the reality,
right.
because I
Yeah,
would need to know that for myself, for real. And I think, and we know that everybody tries to fall into that. We know that because in our own families, we have families that's like, oh, when he was born a slave. Well, and then you do the genealogy and the real research, and you're like, no, they weren't slaves. Okay, come. We, that's what they've been saying in family reunions since the
Yeah,
1950s.
yeah.
But no, they were not slaves. When you actually look at, they owned land, they had a lot of money. They were not slaves. But see, we try to make our reality fit in with the lies that we were told. That is a problem. That
Uh,
is a
big
problem.
problem.
Yes. And it's done more often than not. It's done all the time. And what we need to understand is they hate us because we're the landlords. They hate us because we were so wealthy. They hate us because, I mean, and then this whole thing is everything has to be that we were a slave. Oh yeah, and everything has to be, oh, they were white. No, they were not white. No, they were not. No, that person was not a slave. The man that this man gave all his wealth to his slave daughter, everything, put it in a will, defying all his other relatives. Mhm. These people were us. We were the wealthy people because we were the experts in the trade. We were the experts in the industry, which was farming, agriculture. Experts in agriculture, experts in trade, experts in hunting, experts in exporting.
So check this out. What's coming down the pipe?
Mm.
Check out what she said. So you remember how I show you guys the $50 bill from Montgomery, Alabama in 1961?
Yeah, I'd like to see that again. You might want to pull that up again.
Okay, let me find it. Check this out. You ever heard of that? Whatever firm it is, they're called the Lehman Brothers. They're out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently,
Excuse Grayson. He wants to be in the video too.
okay. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
get in, man, and make yourself seen.
Oh my goodness! Don't tell him that.
What's that? A cat?
Mm-hmm. He's
Oh,
a blue. He's a blue Russian, blue gray Russian or something.
Lehman Brothers came down to Birmingham. I mean, down to Montgomery in the 1860s.
Hmm.
Then went up to New York and came up. It reminded me of something you said last week.
Hmm.
How these cats destroy the money, take that wealth that they did destroy or took from those people, and set up shop in New York.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's the kind of wealth the indigenous people in Alabama and all these places, because it happened in all these places.
Right.
That's what happened. Uh,
And then why do we try to when we try to make things fit their lives and that whole thing of this reconstruction, things that like the 1619, the reconstruct these all are custom made to fit their lie narrative. There is no way that people just jumped out of slavery and boom, we're wealthy, daggone, the wealthiest person, the wealthiest barber, the wealthiest this, the wealthiest daggone banker, all this in 1870. No, it doesn't happen like that. You don't become the wealthiest thing, the biggest thing in 5 years after a war and you were just freed. You had, how many was it, 12 or 17 different colleges, universities, about 5 of them were being built during the during the daggone Civil War. How are you going to have Atlanta Clark University, which was not called that, normal school or whatever? How are you going to have these schools being built during the Civil War? The war is supposed to free your butt. They building colleges for you. Make that make sense. But we believe it, right? We believe the war was to free us. Yet during the war, about 5 universities were being erected, HBCUs, as we call them today. No,
Yeah.
sir.
Harry Baker says Will Smith latest movie is a continuation of the slavery thing. So that's the influencer. That's the influence to keep you stuck in that mindset. Don't look at yourself as nothing but a bumbling slave.
You want to be a victim. That's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be victims. Oh, poor tragic Negro, poor tragic Black person. Always being beat up, beat down, literally being beat. We got one picture that they keep showing of with whip marks on it. How many slaves did they said they brought over here? And you only got one picture of somebody with some daggone keloids on their back. Only one. Only one picture with keloids. And you believe that narrative is true.
Well, like I said earlier, I just think it's not, they hate you because they're not you. And this is what I'm saying. And this is what we have to understand about America. America stretches from Alaska, Canada, North America, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, all that. It's when you look at the map, it's in a certain part of the world. It stretches from the North Pole to the South Pole.
Facts.
Drawing all these lines, South America, Central America, Caribbean, that confuses us on where we are. Then you got people coming in telling you from Africa, you a Hebrew Israelite, you a Greek, you whatever. That doesn't place us in the position we're born to be in. Because if you were born here and you were incarnated here, you're supposed to be here. And you have to ask, why are other people who are incarnated in other places, why are they coming here? And why are you just with it? You can't give your kids that motif. It won't work. They won't survive. Because you see where we're at now.
We turn over our everything, every opportunity that we thought was so important for us to get. We just hand it over to a bunch of immigrants. We hand over the HBCUs. We hand over all the job opportunities. We hand over everything, all the daggone loans, all the daggone grant money to a bunch of immigrants. We hand it over. We fought for the freedom of South Africa. Do you understand that? A lot of the young people don't understand that we actually boycotted and fought and cried and made sad songs and listened to the radio sad songs and picketed and marched in damn college and didn't go to class and did all kinds of stuff and wore all kinds of apartheid support shirts and oh yeah, Pan Africa, yeah, free Mandela. We did that. They were not doing that because they couldn't do that. We were doing that here in the most powerful country in the world, which is our country. We freed them. Do you think they're over? How often do they say, thank you, Indigenous Americans, for your support and work and freeing us? Because now they're out there in South Africa regulating the hell out of them damn Afrikaners, damn Dutch people. Get the hell on. They kicking them out left and right. They kicked out all the damn Indians they could kick out. South Asians. But Southeast Asian. But they're regulating the way we should be regulating. See, we were invaded and colonize first. But we fought to get them freed up before we even know who we are. Now they looking down their noses at us like, poor niggas over there. Them poor Americans.
So
They don't know who they are.
that's another way energy is used too. You know, when I talk about energy and the energy of people, there's a power about you that can get things done, but you're always using it in the wrong context for other people, but never for yourself.
See?
Everybody knows who you are. You made that happen for South Africa. Just because you said no about it, nobody else was with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. Lucius, that's right. March for Apartheid and New York City. See that?
mhm.
We do. We do that. We actually make a lot of things happen on this planet. This planet cannot exist without our energy, without our ingenuity, without our inspiration, without our music, without our dance, without our language, our laughter, our everything. But the fact that they don't, nobody's hollering back, nobody's trying to lend a hand. And this is the real devious thing about it is that silence is so freaking evil because they know we're the landlords of this world. They know we're the landlords, but they silent. They're not trying to tell you, hey, y'all, we know the truth. Yeah, you're right. That is your country. You were there first. We can co-sign this. They're not even trying to co-sign. That don't take nothing to co-sign. Just open your mouth. Send a message. An email. No, they're not even trying to co-sign, verify, nothing. Put a stamp on it. Nobody. Hello, where are you? Where's the stamp? Where's the cosign? Where's the email? Where's the phone call? No, they're not trying to do that. But they'll take all the grant money from our country. These people are getting hundreds of millions of dollars from this daggone country to keep their mouths shut and to say, "Oh yes, we welcome you back to Africa." The return, the great return. Great return of what? Great return how? And then they sit there and they want to justify that they come over here and take everything they can get because America takes from their country. It ain't us. If you would get these bandits out of here, you wouldn't have that problem. Well, you probably still would have that problem because you got to handle yours. It ain't our fault that your leaders are letting them rape y'all on a regular. It ain't our fault. But if you actually would stand up and say, "Oh yeah, that's not even your country," you would shake them off their foundation. They can't steal because they got nowhere to build. But you're allowing them to steal from us and then act like you're supposed to come over here and steal from us too. How's that? How's that?
And arrogant about it.
So much so.
And arrogant about it.
Mm.
You know, so the fact that everybody hates us, they know we're the landlord. They're not you. They're not you. Now we can talk a whole bunch of stuff about what indigenous people did, what they've done for the world, and it's significant how you make people think about themselves. That's very significant. What you think freedom is, and you can be all that you wanted to be. or you want it to be in the world, that's you. That's a concept that comes from you. You can what? Run fast. Everybody wants you. Why? Because you make things happen all the time. But you don't see it like that. You think you're somebody else. Other people come and put themselves in your stead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens
That's what happens.
all the time. And then like and
All
then we're arrogant about it. The truth will be staring you in the face. You can see it for yourself. You can't blame these people that's conspiracy theorists. They're not conspiracy theorists. They just want to know. You can't see this shit that's going on in front of your face. The average Negro, no. Well, they see it. They just don't. They know they have to do something about it, and they're not willing to do that because you're here for a reason. You're not just here to sit in front of the TV. You're not just here to watch the game. You here for a reason. I would suggest you find out what that is.
especially the people that are in this chat. These people are definitely uh rooted and are directed to be doing something more, whatever that is. And yeah, it's time to do it. I noticed that Michael Hampton put on African African Americans Ain't African on Facebook about his family reunion, and I thought that was amazing because that is the biggest step you can do to become your indigenous self. It is the biggest, most major. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, that is a mistake that I made. That is a mistake that I made. If I was to do a do-over, and when repatriating the Accomacks, I wouldn't have had a summit. I would have had a family reunion, like a couple of years of just hardcore hitting all the different, not just like all the different families that are Accomack, just a reunion at hardcore, like, and not even you don't even have to call it a reunion because a lot of times people get stressed out when you say reunion that because there's so many expectations of what a reunion is supposed to be. If you call it like a family cookout, family picnic, family barbecue, whatever, but that's the way that everybody can begin. It's even bigger than genealogy because when you get everybody together, you have the opportunity to say, you know what? I was doing some research and everybody's Indian or this so and so we're this kind of Indian and it's a great way to when you have everybody together to get everybody thinking about who they really are and how it makes sense. And then everybody's gonna say, well, so and so said this word when she used this kind of language, or she used to cook this certain dish, or great grandma used to do this, or she built this, or great granddad used to build these things, or sculpt. He used to, carve, do these different carvings, or it's going to generate all this other indigenous information that we're missing. So if you can just do a family dinner, a family cookout, a family picnic, it doesn't have to be as stressful even as calling it a reunion. But if you can do that first step, I would rather have done it. Because you know why? Because it's harder to get people. Once you start organizing as a people, it's harder to get your family to come around to it. But if you get your family to come around to getting together and then introduce them to them because you're enjoying the whole aspect of you all getting together, it's a smarter way to do it. It's very, very smart. It's the greatest thing you can do. And this is the thing. We were talking today about, all these different rappers and stuff and RICO charges and all this stuff. And, maybe doing a build about that. Not me personally, but, some other Accomacks. But the fact is that the only protection that you can actually assure yourself of as a people, because like I said, there's a lot of brothers out here, and they're gonna try to grab them up. They're showing you how they're gonna grab them up by using these celebrities as examples. That's the tip of the iceberg. They just running through these boys on the street. They just snapping them up. We don't know how many are getting murdered. We don't know how many are getting just thrown in jail for no doggone reason whatsoever. But you organize as your indigenous true people, you could say, hey, no, not today. Not today. Not my daggone cousin. Not my daggone Accomack kin. They are not under your jurisdiction. That's the greatest power you can have. Like I said, Michael Vick would have never done a day of any kind of daggone jail if he had been organized as the daggone Indian he really is. But we're out of our daggone proper status. We're out of our proper daggone identity. We're not identifying as our true indigenous people that we are within our homelands.
We're just identifying ourselves as fictitious characters written by other people. That's all we do.
That's right.
And you got to see that. If not seeing anything, we'll identify with that before we identify with our grandmothers and grandfathers. You're going to lose every time. I mean, what's the record now?
You got to do it in Texas because Texas is the worst at trying to kill the indigenous people. They always have been. They were the first to put these to mandate that these children take these shots. What else daggone? What is that? What is that thing I keep getting upset about?
The COVID thing?
No, not the COVID. No, it's that. What is it they giving to the kids? Oh, HPV. That HPV, the thing that prevents something that they're not ever going to get anyway. The thing that you get pap smears to prevent daggone cervical cancer. And boys, really, what you doing? So it's like they mandated the HPV because they're trying to sterilize your people in Texas. They are always trying to kill you in Texas because y'all got all them oil wells. You own everything. You own all the land. You own all the wealth, but y'all don't know it. So you need to organize your people in Texas. Absolutely, get a damn picnic, get a damn barbecue going. Get a barbecue going. Plan it now. Save the date for everybody. Get it going. It don't have to be nothing major. Just get in the park, get a gazebo, fire up a daggone grill. Let's get this cracking, and then get to talking. Because I was in Texas all during COVID. I offered a brother. I was gonna do his paperwork, help him do his paperwork right there. I was right in his town. We had been talking before this, but he got involved with some kind of Wolfman Jack or somebody who wanted to do some kind of reauthentication, authenticate your birth certificate. Baby, that's not gonna help your people. When the popo stops you, you can't be like, I'm authenticated. Want to see I re-authenticate? No. That's not going to stop the popo. No. You have to be like, look, you're not my police, so you're not going to police me.
Right.
I got my own. We got our own nation. Now, I have the rights. I am a citizen, but you don't control me because I got my own nation.
Right.
That predates your nation. So hands off my people and hands off me. That's what you want to be able to do. Don't you tax me. Don't you take nothing. That's the kind of power you want to have. Not this whole, I re-authenticated my birth certificate, made myself a national. What? What is that? Somebody else is begging. a begging national. You don't have any rights. You're not out of their jurisdiction. You're not a nation. You don't belong to your own nation. And you can't make up a fictitious one. Oh, I'm the Tata Doodles. No, you can't be a Tata Doodle nation. I don't care if you think it, oh, the meaning of it is this. No, don't tell me that. You have to do what is actually, see, this is the thing. It's not just you have to do it because it makes sense. It's because your ancestors don't know what the hell you're talking about. They don't know you. If you a Tata Doodle, they ain't a Tata Doodle. They don't know who you are. So how are they going to be activated and helping somebody when you're making up a whole new name? That makes no sense. You got to find out what they call, and like the indigenous one says, the rivers, the lakes, the hills, the trees, they got your real names. The towns, little towns, with all them indigenous names, that's your real Indian names. But you sit there trying to make up stuff. The Hickabob Cranes. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know this stuff. And neither do your ancestors. But guess what? When you use those real names that you know, they know it's real. They ain't going to touch you. Untouchable. Because you're dealing with facts. And they can't, you know what? You can't undo a fact. You can't fight a fact and you can't undo a fact. And that's why you want to be dealing in truth and facts when you repatriate. You want to be in your greatest power, and that is your greatest power. You want to be able to say, you don't want to have to worry about your cousin that you don't really even know that well, and he's somebody else's a cousin's cousin, but all of a sudden he getting in trouble over some bull crap and getting locked up. We got people in Atlanta, they got kids going to jail part-time, staying in one jail in Clayton County for part of the day, part of the week, or whatever, part of the day even, and then spending evenings and daggone in Conyers. What kind of craziness is that? You are part-time, one prison. Come on now. And all the charges are ridiculous and dumb. And these white boys, they will halfway kill each other. And they can kill each other. And they kill people and get away with it. You know that these Europeans kill people and get away with it every day. And you know that they're going to do more drugs than anybody on the planet every day. And they don't do any time. The police will catch them. They'll probably crash a car, curl up, wrap themselves around a tree, do whatever. Beat their girlfriends up, not ever go to jail. Not ever even have a handcuff come near them. You've seen videos where people are throwing things at cops, trying to get them from daggone even approaching somebody, and they never pulled nothing out on them, not even a taser. But you don't want to do nothing to reorganize yourself to be the actual person that you're supposed to be so you can actually have a different future forever? See, a Moorish identity or a authentication might give you some little benefits for now. You may get yourself a 503(c). You might actually get away with not paying taxes for now. You may, I don't know. But when you die, what's your family got? And when your son gets caught up in the system, or your distant cousin gets caught up in the system, what can you do for them? Nothing. Because your UCC stuff and your authentication can't help your distant cousin. It can't help your other kinfolk. It can't protect all your people and people that are way outside of you for centuries to come. because you just thinking about the here and now and what you can get done immediately. And you know what people say to me? I'm satisfied with how it's working for me.
Yeah, I've
That's what
heard
they
that.
say. That's what they say. The Morris Temple stuff, or the UCC, or the reauthenticating your daggone birth certificate, or whatever the hell they're doing, national status. I'm happy. I'm satisfied with what is happening for me. Selfish. They ain't trying to do nothing for nobody that's going to change the whole trajectory of their people. And not only that, but you're not really protected. Like I said, any moment you could get caught up and go to jail. That UCC is not going to help you. That reauthenticating your birth certificate, doesn't make you invisible. I'm invisible. The popo can't see me. What does it do? Does it make you invisible where you're not seen by the authorities? You're like a cat burglar or something. You can do whatever. You're impervious to daggone charges and persecution. No, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. They want us gone. So our people, what we don't understand, they hate us. Why do they hate us? They are hunting us. There's no good Indian except the dead one. We are actively being hunted every minute, every second of every day. If you don't understand it, we are being hunted. Not to be like victim stuff, because we're very strong people. But the fact remains that is what's happening. We going to just keep letting it happen without having any kind of mechanism to stop it that's going to work? I'm telling you, there is one thing that we know for sure will work. Well, what about the UCC code? What about it? Does it stop the police? Does it? Does it stop the pipeline to prison? Because you, as the Lettahatchee, what do y'all the Catawba what Lettahatchee, can go into the schools and say, you know what, we are the Catawba what Lettahatchee Nation, and we will not no longer allow you to keep these police officers policing our babies. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for this pipeline to prison to continue, and we're not having it. That's the kind of power UCC code. I don't know how that works. How does that work for that? How does it work for saying that, okay, you can't just pull us into prison because we're not in your jurisdiction? How does the UCC code function in that way, or any kind of reauthenticating of yourself, of your birth certificate? You have to understand that they don't like you because they know that it just takes you to actually wake up and realize the power that you have, and everything that they have fraudulently manufactured, made you believe that they built, is out of their hands, all gone. Just like that. Just all it takes is for you to realize that they don't have power over you, and they don't have the right to do the things that they're doing. They know that, but all it takes for you to realize is for you to recognize that, and to do the things to unravel this whole matrix for yourself, is to be in your true nation.
It's called justice, y'all.
There's nothing more powerful than that. Being in your nation is the only way. You cannot just be a single Indian or Indian in an Indian organization and make that happen. You can't do a makeshift Indian organization because a makeshift Indian organization doesn't have the records, doesn't have the history, doesn't have the proof. Real things are required to get real results. Fictitious things can have limited benefits. We can't afford limited benefits. We got too many brilliant, beautiful young people out here that deserve better than that. They deserve better. Dad's all into his indigenous organization. I don't know what that's about. They don't know what it's about. They don't know what their dad or mom's doing. I know he does some kind of Indian thing he's involved with, or she's doing some kind of Indian thing she's involved with. They don't know nothing about it. Because what you're doing is you're not actually introducing them to their culture. You just got yourself an activity for yourself, a place to feel importante. But it's not really, you haven't really given them back their identity. You haven't given them back a nation to belong to. You haven't done it. A nation, give your family back their nation. Give your families back their nation. That's the gift that keeps on giving. That's the gift you need to give for Christmas. You want to give a gift? Give them back their nation. Let them know who they really are. Start by having a family dinner, a nice cookout, a simple picnic. Family picnic. Everybody can bring their own baskets. You can have the setups. You can make it very affordable, but classy. You could bring the lemonade or the tea and some sodas. I don't know. It doesn't have to be outrageous. It can be classy yet affordable. And everybody brings their You can even have a basket contest where you compete who has the best basket, who got the most delicious basket. You could auction off the baskets. See who can cook the best, who can make the best little picnic basket. I mean, make it interesting. I'm just saying, let's get back to being the families that we used to be, that got together, that enjoyed each other, and that shared our culture, which is very loving and very supportive. And we share and we're generous with each other. That's the way we used to be. Very generous with each other, taking care of one another. And get all these people out of our country that don't respect us. They need to understand that if you're not with us, you're against us. Period. You're not going to be coming in here snubbing your nose at me, not looking at me, not speaking. What? Taking jobs away from my people, getting all in the way, disrespectful, rude. Do you know how many? I have a hard time getting an Uber back from the airport because they don't want to come to my neighborhood. I mean, people be getting picked up all around me, but these foreign folks don't want to take me. And I have a nice neighborhood, like really, y'all. It's in the hood, it's in South, but it really is a nice neighborhood. Once somebody eventually shows up, and I have to coerce them to come. Where are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming or not? They don't want to cancel the ride because that counts against them. But at the same time, they be like waiting. I be waiting for like 45 minutes and stuff, more than that, trying to get somebody to show up. Everybody that I was waiting out there that came after me, been gone. But these foreign people, they just rude as hell. They don't want. How you gonna come here act like you don't want to come to my neighborhood? Where you? Who are you? What? When'd you get here? Like I said, someone I did not go to high school with. You were not around. You were not around when my kids were at PTA. So these people come. That's right. Reminiscing about barbecues and get together. That's right. That's right. That's what we need to do. We need to do that again. That is the biggest start of us repatriating our indigenous selves.
So now's the time, because it's the time when a lot of families get together, start making these, facts and stuff that you've learned over this last year, start sharing that with the family. Because
Have it in your phone.
and you'll be surprised, more of them gonna know than you think that knows.
And actually, more of them are going to be. And the other big thing is that more of them are going to be ready, because what we're finding is that a lot of folks are noticing that we're being mistreated. That everybody seems to be hateful towards us, talk nasty about us, make us look bad, talk about us being bad. Whereas we're the main ones to forgive and love everybody. And oh yeah, we still love you. We don't care if you killed us, or we don't care if you took our stuff, or you flooded out our whole town, or broke the levees. We still love you. That's the way we are. But the reality is, we got to love ourselves. It's time for us to love and heal ourselves. And the fact is that a lot of our family members are like noticing the injustice, and that although we keep fighting the same old ways, protesting, crying, moaning, voting, marching, and, complaining and begging and hoping, and it's not helping anything. And they're also noticing that all these immigrants coming into the country, who they say we mix with or we supposed to be, don't act like us in any way. Don't look like us, don't act like us. They damn sure don't eat like us. Please don't invite us to their barbecues. And the ones that taste good, when you go to those restaurants, believe me, let me tell you something. Let's talk about this cooking shit. Let's just do this real quick before we get off this program. Let's talk about cooking. All this cooking that everybody's doing, that they act like they can cook now, is a damn lie. It's a lie. Think back. Brady Bunch, Partridge Family. None of them people could cook. None of them people was cooking during that time. Spices and all the seasoning, they learned from your mamas and grandmamas and your aunties. These people could not cook that recently. They couldn't cook. All of a sudden, we chopping this, we add onions, peppers, garlic. Please, that is all a recent thing. And in addition, what about this? The same thing with these African people. You think all them peppers and all that hot sauce and all that tomatoes, they don't have tomatoes indigenous to Africa. That's ours. All these things that they added to their food is an introduction of our culture. They did not have all those spices, all those peppers, all those daggone tomatoes, all those things that they add to their food to make it yummy. And you're like, oh yeah, I went to the African restaurant, giving your money up, all happy, spending your money. I'm getting my, oh yeah, I go there all the time. Oh girl, I love me some. I don't know that food. Okay, I don't eat it. But I see the food that they was cooking when they first came here in the 80s. And then, no. Stinky, nasty food. No. Bland? No. These things are recent. recent developments that they took from you. Same way these Afro beats. Y'all love some Afro beats. Y'all ridiculous with that. You can miss me with that. Stop praising these people for copying you.
What's Afro bees?
Don't even talk to me about. I don't want to talk about it. Every time I hear on the radio, I turn the station. For real, I do. I change the station because I do not support us always turning over our gifts, our ingenuity to others. It's this new. It's like they have done a remix with hip hop and Caribbean beats, and they've remixed it to make it into these things they called Afro beats from these Nigerian or whatever these African artists are doing it, and they're just taking our style. They're just taking our style and remixing it, and it's supposed to, it sounds good. You know us. Oh yeah, we vibe on everything. We make anybody rich. Have some loyalty to
I
yourself.
saw this piece where this guy was coming from one of these countries, Ibzabistan, one of these countries that's just doing hip hop, trying to be a hip hop, trying to play the part. They asked him, was he going back home to hone his craft? He's like, hell no, I'm staying right here.
You stay right here.
I'm staying right here.
Yeah.
I mean, a cornball, but like you say, man, a lot of us,
That's what we
we
do.
push it. They get you to sing a line in their song, then you turn your people on to be influenced by it. I know how it's rolling. I'm watching this chick, this guy Akon,
Oh Lord.
African cat. I mean, damn, the blatant disrespect. Because we know about African culture. It's been shoved down our throat for so long. But Africans have musicians that are nice, that put out the African experience very well.
Yeah.
Africans have politicians who've fought for their people.
Right.
Cool dudes, female,
Cool.
everybody. Though
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think we got to pay attention to the people that do that here.
Right.
Instead of we're all just falling for whatever we're told, and we'll stay on stuff that we were told when we were 3 years old, and we're 75 now. The kids don't have a chance. The kids don't have a chance. If you keep giving them stuff that didn't work, that was stupid, that you haven't seen, hasn't worked, nothing, and you just gonna hold on, you're gonna take it to the grave with you, I guess, huh?
And also keep your kids believing a lie. And Will Smith with his weird ass doing a movie about emancipate. They emancipated the poor white slaves and gave them our freaking wealth. That's what they did. Because let me tell you, if they had taken everything away from the South, they still would be mad and coming up north and setting shit on fire. That's what they would be doing. Because if just think about it. If they were the wealthiest people in this country, and they came down there and took all their wealth and then and set their niggas free, you think New York would still be standing? You think that all would still be up there, Philadelphia? No. They would have rode up there and tore that stuff down. That war would never be over. Never. Never. The wealth was given to the poor immigrants after the emancipation. That's what it did. It emancipated the poor immigrant Europeans, white Europeans. That's who were emancipated. Don't believe that at all. And that's why they got his face all over the place. I saw a gigantic billboard in New York of his daggone crazy face. I was like, ugh. I was like, ugh. That weirdo.
Whose face?
Will Smith.
Oh, he's still acting?
Emancipation. His movie in a theater near you.
Oh, I thought it was coming on TV or something, the
I
Netflix
don't
or
know.
something.
I don't know where it's at, but I know I
Yeah,
won't watch it.
yeah, like say mass media, and people are getting influenced already. You know, it's something about those movies that we just get hooked to them, and we act like they're real stories.
It's how they instruct the world, the planet. Birth of a Nation is redone in so many different ways. They use that whole theme of the Negro menace, right? That's always being put out there. Birth of a Nation's being replayed all the time. And then we're also meant to feel like, we're Miss Jane Pittman, trying to get to that water. Oh, child, if I could get a drink of water, just so dry. Cause the water with the white folks tastes so much sweeter. It's that same damn spring, okay? Y'all know what plumbing's like. It's the same damn water. But Miss Jane Pittman need to get her lips around that.
Yeah,
Stop it.
we be doing some stupid shit.
And they want us to be that.
Yeah.
They want us to believe that. They want us to keep feeling that whole thing of, oh, if I could just get a taste from your mountains, your fountains, sir, I would feel like a whole human being. Instead of being like, look, first of all, you took this land and you need to give it back. You owe us so much because this whole corporate contract is effed up and your time is up and you need to pay up. The more of us that repatriated, the more powerful we could be. But no, we want to sit around and act like if only there was an answer. Maybe at UCC code, that seems easy. Perhaps I should re-authenticate my birth certificate.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think there's enough ingenuity, intelligence, know-how, everything that you would need to rebuild the water system in Jackson, Mississippi? Do you think the African American, Black, Negro, color, do you think that they could compete such a feat?
I mean, this is a thing I don't get. I don't know anything. I don't know really. You know what I'm saying? What I do know is that we got all kinds of water tables and drills. Okay. So I don't understand why it's so impossible to get some damn fresh water. This don't make no damn sense to me. I don't understand how this is hard.
And
How is it so difficult to get clean water? Like that's not hard. Okay. So I don't, none of this makes sense to me. But see, we all want to sit there and be waiting for Father Time to come and, come on, give us, bless us with something, help us, somebody help us, come on, somebody, please, 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 please. Now you got about 2 or 3 plumbers within your family, all 4 grandparent sides, but you can't get nobody that can dig a well. There's different wells. Like there's a shallow well and there's a deep well, but there's water, see. So I don't understand why you can't get no clean water. That don't make no sense to me. See, a lot of it's also, yeah, Shungai does purify what? Shit, just about anything purifies water, damn it. You know what I mean? It's really not hard to filter water. Boil it. You know, Shungai, you can use coal. You can coal is just burnt wood. You can burn some wood, make some daggone. Come on now.
Filters.
Yes. We can make some filters. I mean, it's very easy to clean water. But we also have to stop being helpless, because we're not helpless. And we have to stop using and depending on their system. But we also have to be unified. We got to trust and help each other, you know, pay each other what we're worth, and also give to each other what we can when we can afford to give and not ask for money. Give when we can. But when you got the money and somebody's doing you a job, stop trying to get it for half price and shit. Pay the people. You're not gonna try to Jew a daggone, uh, an immigrant down. You're not gonna the invaders. You don't be trying. Excuse me, excuse me. You know, uh, can I pay half today and the rest tomorrow? No, you're not gonna do that. You're not. No, no.
Shell from the block said it takes organization. So that's what we mean. That's what we say all the time. Organize your families. Get those reunions going seriously. Because see, Lisa reminded me something earlier this week. More and more people are they're understanding this. Whereas before, when I started doing this, and trust me, it was done hundreds of years before I started doing it. People were telling me I hated my African self. Look, making a, you know how we do. But when you start thinking about it, when you really start thinking about it, the stories that have been told make no sense at all. You feel like a fool for believing in them. So, like Shell from the block says, it takes organization. Organize your family. Start, like you're saying, you're doing the barbecues, for family reunions. Meet somewhere that everybody can get to if we're all spread out. And start getting with your families and talk about what's going to be happening or what are we going to be doing with all these immigrants here? How are we going to position ourselves? Shouldn't we be having those conversations?
It doesn't have to be a lot of people. You just get a few families, a few cousins, a few aunties, uncles, maybe one auntie. It doesn't have to be a lot. Everything that you do starts with one step. Maybe you just start with a dinner, a luncheon, a brunch, a family brunch. Breakfast is easy: eggs, a little bit of chicken, some fish, if you want to add to it, biscuits or some cornbread, even better. You got cornbread, you got some scrambled eggs, grits, a couple of fish, some shrimp, whatever. Do a brunch, do a family brunch, whatever is going to make it simple, you know? But just start by getting folks together and then introduce it. Watch a video, watch the indigenous one. What I suggested to the indigenous one was he has over 500 videos. How about picking some of his best videos and let's watch them again, or for the first time for many of us. Let's watch them, because the people that he was educating back in the day, they were clueless. But there are a lot of people who are ripe now and ready. And a lot of people in your family are ready for this information because they see that we're clearly different than what we were told that we were. When they meet these Africans, they see we're not these Africans. So we have a lot of people in our families that are ripe and ready to learn the truth. That's right. Yeah, salmon. Yeah, be careful of the be careful of the mercury. They say. They, did you hear they have this these genetically manufactured salmon, and they're eating the real salmon. They're killing them. They're killing off the real salmon. These genetically modified salmon are killing off the real salmon. It is very disgusting and weird, and they're high in mercury. I'm just saying, salmon. You might want to just back away from whatever. But anyway, be careful. But yeah, basically, and no tilapia, which what the hell is that? African fish? I don't know. Anyway, it just flounder, whiting, things that we, grouper, porgies, things that are American, common, trout. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but basically, let's just focus on the fact that we get ourselves together. Make that the goal for the new year. Plan a picnic, a brunch, anything, a barbecue, something where you're getting your people together, and then watch a video. Watch one of the indigenous ones' video, and so you can help them awaken. Watch the cartoons. Have the kids watch some of the indigenous cartoons, but just allow the opportunity for people to get the information while you get together, because people, we have to do something. We have to get out of this matrix. We have to save the next generation. We have to change the future. We have to get out of this jurisdiction. We have to.
And one more thing to add to what she said. I know a lot of you guys have been accumulating a lot of information, a lot of images, or just a lot of information over the past years. Share that with the family also.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The information is abundant. There's no way nobody should know anything. Information's there. And remember, one of the things you can do is go back to the 70s. I would say the 70s, all the 70s, early 60s and 70s, and listen to some of those songs, what those people were talking about. It'll put you right on point.
Mm-hmm.
Your moms and dad, your grandmother and grandfathers knows about them. Ask them. Listen to that music. That'll turn you on to yourself a lot faster too, because that music wasn't a joke. And what they were saying, they wasn't saying a lot of stupid stuff that's being put out today. They were coming with the real. So listen to them if you can.
That's right. Just take those first steps. You got it. You got it. You thinking right. That's right. Start with a Zoom call and work out from there. And the other thing is, and then also, like I said, get your Facebook family pages together, because you know what? You don't know who exactly shoot. I got cousins that live not far from me that you didn't know that they were out there, because people are not sharing information and they're not in communication like they used to be. They're not connected, but we got to reconnect, because those are our allies. Those are our people, our family. It's everything. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, you guys have a good week. We'll try to get to you before Christmas, because I see a lot of people falling out of that. It's interesting. So I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we'll catch up with you later on in the week. Peace out, y'all.